All over Europe, 12 amateur and professional photographers have been selected to compete in an extraordinary photographic contest. 8 weeks, 8 completely different photographic challenges.
Can I come back tomorrow?
It's been a disaster.
They'll have to give it their best shot to impress the judges. Oliviero Toscani, acclaimed and controversial photographer from Italy.
I've seen too many of these photographic masturbation.
Caroline Hunter, Guardian Weekend magazine picture editor from the UK.
This image doesn't really engage me.
Darcy Padilla, American documentary photographer specializing in contemporary issues.
That's why you didn't do it, because you don't know.
Only one photographer will win the life-changing prize of 150,000 euros.
I took that picture, mate.
Sorry.
Much harder than I expected.
Who will be the next Sky Arts Master of Photography?
Wow, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Welcome back to Sky Arts Master of Photography. In the last task, you portrayed Sicily. You had the chance to scout your locations the day before. But for your next task, you'll do the opposite. You'll be flown to the vibrant city of Hamburg in Germany.
You need to find one photo that best represents the morning rush hour. You're going to begin at 6:30 in the morning in complete darkness, and you're going to end at 9:30 in the morning in daylight. But what's really exciting is that you have no idea what you will encounter.
You got an education, you got a sensitivity, so you can have a point of view. That's the scouting you have to do within yourself if you want to be a photographer.
We want to show you a photograph. This is an image taken by Randy Olsen. The symmetry of the composition brings a sense of order to a clearly chaotic scene. The use of a slow shutter speed to blur the commuters' bodies gives the image a painterly look, and it looks a little like an impressionist work.
We want to show you also another picture taken by a German photographer, Siegfried Hansen. That is a complete different interpretation of rush hour. It's very geometric, devised by different perspective, very still. Probably they are retired people that don't even work anymore. So those are the two extremes where you can go.
Hansen is one of the best street photographers today, and he lives and works in Hamburg. And when you return, he will be here to help you edit.
Your task starts now.
Researching the city of Hamburg and the public transportation system in advance is an important step for this assignment, as they'll need to hit the ground running as soon as they get there.
I'm from London, and I'm thinking of the tubes, and I'm thinking of people trying to get onto the tube and doors closing and people getting stuck in there. That's the kind of feeling and chaos that I want to capture.
Having grown up in big cities all my life, I think rush hour, it's this sense of isolation you feel, but within a crowd of people packed into trains together, but not speaking, not really making eye contact, feeling lonely inside.
Hello, Molly.
Hello.
How are you going to tackle this one?
I don't really have a definite plan, because I think for a rush hour street photography project, it's better to just have an open mind and just photograph what I see.
Is there a location that you're thinking about going to?
I want to move with the people. I want to join people, trams, buses, metro.
I wish you luck, okay?
Thanks. Thanks again.
Hamburg is the second largest city in Germany and the second biggest port in Europe. Some of the most important global corporations, such as Google and Airbus, have their headquarters and facilities here. The city was totally destroyed during the Second World War, but today it is a shining metropolis renowned for its wonderful canals. It's 6:15 a.m. and all the contestants are ready to start.
Round 2, game time.
Okay, let's start.
But one of them, Nico, the Italian, has decided to leave the contest for personal and family reasons.
It has been a very difficult decision for me, but for family issues, I have to leave the show. And to all my fellow contestants, I wish the best of luck.
It's cold. Hey, there's snow. Welcome to Germany.
For this task, the 10 photographers left in the competition asked to take one picture that best represents the rush hour.
Willy Brandt-Strasse.
If it's true that 99% of street photography is failure,
It's the kind of shot where you'll take 500 and maybe one will work.
will their 1% be enough to impress the judges?
I didn't have any very particular initial ideas for this task because rush hour doesn't really exist where I live. I've never been to Germany before at all, and I really didn't know what to expect. I'd like to photograph some people at a bus stop as well, maybe, or on an actual bus, and ask some people if I can take their shot. I've done street photography before from time to time in different places. I was still nervous about the task, though. Frosting up the glass a bit looks quite nice. Give a nice blur to the lights. Gives it a bit of a dreamy look.
The idea is to show movement of people going towards work, about their daily routine in the mornings. With that dreariness, that tiredness, that feeling of being alone within a crowd. Well, let's start off by getting one traditional shot of how a city wakes up, and that's people coming in the morning on the trains, getting off them. One of the problems of shooting at nighttime is the grain in the image, the noise. You need to be careful not to push the ISO level above 3,200 or 6,400 if you want a clean image. So keep the shutter speed down, put the aperture wide open, and keep your hands still. Basically try not to shake too much.
My idea was to go to the red light district and take some pictures of the woman working in that area. Oh God, it's so empty. There's nobody. Wow. Where did I shower?
The first idea I had was to go for the light part of rush hour. Like the stupid things you don't remember that you did it because you were so rushed.
Can I take a picture of you?
Okay.
Yes?
Yes?
Come here and like run with this. Yeah. Yeah, run.
Okay.
And maybe like the light.
Yeah? Okay.
You're beautiful, so I'm gonna use you. I say 3, 2, 1.
Yeah?
And then you do like.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Nice! One more time and then it's okay. Just do as if you're running. Good! You're dancing. Great.
Great.
Thank you.
It's cold, dark, and the city is deserted. This rush hour is not meeting their expectations. This is a street photography assignment, so they better start taking the situation in their stride or they'll come back empty-handed.
So I'm trying to figure out where to go a little lost, to be quite honest.
By comparison to London, the streets were empty, so it was completely different to what I expected.
Basically, yeah, rush hour hasn't really happened yet, and it will all happen in a rush, no doubt.
I thought that it will be more crowded on the streets.
There's nobody in here. No rush hour. No coffee. And it's cold.
My idea of rush hour is basically movement, I guess. People moving quickly. So I really want to try to capture that movement. But I really think we're too early.
In a street photography assignment, photographers must not expect the picture to come to them.
And not waste any more time here. Because so far this rush hour has been really disappointing.
They'll need to overcome their disappointment quickly and find their own personal interpretation of the theme.
So we'll just keep moving and find something.
Rush hour for me is something I've never done before, and actually I decided to not go with the more conventional idea of rush hour per se, people rushing somewhere to work or, you know, the stress, because I wasn't even sure if I was going to find it in the city.
My first idea to go to the Reeperbahn Street, where is the Red District in Hamburg. So I think there we are, more or less, and try to photograph some of the prostitutes who are finishing up their day. So for them, rush hour is actually the opposite. No, also behind. So, when sie walk. Ohne sie. Ich schau nicht. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Okay, okay, ich mach nichts. Ich mach nichts. They are angry, they don't want to be photographed. I think it's not easy.
One of the images shown to us was slow shutter speed, so that's an initial thought. But the idea is that, you know, we actually interpret that kind of movement and activity. It was definitely a creative opportunity, but I don't really know what I've got.
I'm trying to figure out where the most strategic place to be is, with great light and a lot of people rushing to work.
So Heel is approaching the task like a hunter, looking for the best spot to take up position and shoot.
Oh, there's an interesting woman coming with one of those things. I don't know what to call it. There seems to be some movement taking place. It's getting a bit more interesting, yeah. I mean, it's not a great shot, but it's just movement, and she's going to work.
So I wasn't able to find any prostitutes who work in the area, unfortunately. We'll take one more shot from here. I decided to focus rather on the internal state of mind of people when they are about to go to work, when there is a whole day ahead of them. Kann ich bitte seine Porträt machen? Von mir? Yeah. I found a woman who was going to work, and she was very collaborative. I could really picture her in many different ways. I really like the light here, it's beautiful. Conceptually, I think this shot was one of my best shots. Vielen, vielen Dank. Bitte. Ja. Schönen Tag.
I'm so disappointed because I was expecting to catch a lot of people coming out from clubs, but there's nothing. Damn. I hear some music, like some disco place. Excuse me, do you speak English?
Yes.
What is this, a discotheque?
Disco club, yes.
Disco club. Can I enter?
Yes, you can take a look.
Can I just enter?
Please don't take any pictures.
I can take pictures.
I don't like it.
Okay. I'm lost. I don't even know where to go.
No matter the situation, Olamp has no problem connecting with the people she meets.
So these guys are coming with me to take a picture here in the garage. Yeah! This is your stage. You can like just run through like in a group, like whatever. Just run around. Yeah. Who wants to be the main character? That's here with the back. Yeah. And you can say, come. And you run. Ciao. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Nice. Thank you, guys. I should buy you a coffee now.
I've grown up in big cities all of my life, in Mumbai and Calcutta and London. And what I've felt in the morning rushes towards work is that despite being in such a cosmopolitan and busy place, despite being inside a crowd, you feel alone. You never really talk to anyone. You keep to yourself. You do something on your phone. You read a book or you sleep. No one really speaking, no interactions. Part of that's got to do with being tired, but part of that has got to do with, the loneliness of rush hour for me.
Street photography is a combination of moving and waiting. The scenes constantly change. Either you wait 2 minutes or you walk 100 meters and you'll have a completely different scene. To capture the movement, I'll probably experiment with some slow shutter speeds, get some motion blur. The aperture doesn't really matter if you do that. I quite like this because it's got movement. There's this guy running through the foreground. Slowly getting there.
I come from around that area here, and when you're from the northern part of Germany, Hamburg is the city to go to. Coming from the background of conceptual photography, I had difficulties for the task considering the light as well as the surrounding because I'm not used to be outside on the street.
Rush hour is a state of mind for me. It's like a thing that it's not only in the morning or in the evening. It can be the rush hour you can have in yourself for the whole time, for the whole life. This is the state that pushes you further, 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 but you're missing the point. You're missing the important things in your life.
It's not that I'm happy, but there are more people, there are more chances in here, so...
Right. Then I saw this girl just running through the street. So I started to shoot at her. I ran just after her for a couple of shots because she was like the essence of missing everything. Just run to the point A to point B, and it was pretty cool.
I found a really, really nice lady called Sarah, and I photographed her for quite a while in the train station. She was really, really good. She stayed with me for ages, let me photograph her for a long time. Can I just fix your hair with the scarf?
Go
Perfect.
ahead.
Perfect. And I slowed the shutter speed down so that there were people blurry walking past. Can you stand very still for me? There was something that David Allen Harvey said to me that stuck in my mind for this task. He was talking about the fact that sometimes with photographers a very, very small movement can make a huge difference, just making a tiny movement to the left or right, and I really kept that in mind for this task.
The contestants started shooting at 6:30 a.m. in the dark. Now the sun is rising, posing fresh challenges and offering new opportunities. They will need to readjust their white balance, work with a faster shutter speed and a closer aperture in order to control the changing light and catch the city from a new perspective.
When the daylight broke, I decided to change my approach because these moving lights just didn't work anymore. And I tried to take pictures with a deeper meaning. What I would like about this scene is, this guy obviously lives here. People just walk by, they completely ignore him, and even the birds sort of do their own thing, going through this man's food.
Un moment. Stopping people on the streets and asking to take a portrait of them or just photographing something on the go was really never my comfort zone. Excuse me. Can I take a photo of you? Are you going to work?
Yes.
Rush hour commuters don't have much time to spare, so the photographers need to be quick to connect and engage with them.
Just one second, please. Yeah, just like this is good. No, just like this is good. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
The task is nearly over, but some of the contestants are still struggling to get their picture.
Can I get a picture of you looking very busy?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, come on. What's the problem? Are you sure? I think I've messed up the whole idea. I mean, maybe I shouldn't try to capture people rushing, but just capture what happens at rush hour.
It kind of worked, but again, there wasn't a great deal going on.
To be fair, it's been a really cold morning. We haven't really experienced what I would call a rush hour, so just had to try and make the best of a situation where there hasn't really been a lot of people around. I'm going to get this fella coming on the bike. Oh, 2 bikes. Technically, what I've been trying to do is I've done some slow shutter speed stuff and make people unidentifiable. That's quite nice.
They've had 3 hours in Hamburg to capture their personal interpretation of rush hour.
The task went by pretty quickly.
I think I made what I could.
It's been a disaster.
They started shooting in darkness and finished in daylight.
What's done is done.
There they go.
How they dealt with today's challenges will reveal a lot about their talent.
I was so desperate.
Germans are not that cold. They're very, very nice.
But now, time is up.
Finished.
In the studio, the contestants are reviewing their work. In a street photography assignment, if a location takes you by surprise, a good rule of thumb is to take as many photos as possible. The more you take, the better the chance of getting that one magic shot you were hoping for.
Overall, I was quite happy whenever I saw my photographs again today. I was surprised a bit as well because there were some shots that I completely forgot about.
What I'm trying to show through my picture is movement. It's early in the morning, it's dark, it's cold. People are just trying to get from A to B as quickly as possible.
She's got the best one. This is the best picture.
I just got it.
This is the best picture. But you got one very nice train for
Thank you very much.
How are you getting on?
Struggling.
Struggling?
Very. I'm out of this competition. That's me.
No, I don't see that.
From the long edit, I have selected a few pictures which I think could potentially represent my idea of rush hour, but I want to wait for the advice of Mr. Hansen.
Choosing the right picture from the hundreds taken is not an easy task, and the advice of Hamburg's own Siegfried Hansen will be very useful. Coming from an engineering background, Hansen has the unique ability to transform metropolitan chaos into a rational vision. His work highlights beauty in every tiny detail and fills the ordinary world with an irony that has now become his trademark.
I'm very curious what you shoot in my hometown.
See, it's not a great collection. I like this because there's a lot more happening. It's rather than just one person.
It looks also like a cage. Everybody's going to this world when they ask you their story, their work, and they have always to do the same and so on.
I wanted to capture each of the passengers, framed them in between the railings. That's why I included it, but I don't think it gives a sense of them being in a prison or a cage.
Okay. And I think it's the strongest because of the loneliness. This is maybe this is also a good one. This lightning point. This too. I asked, what is this? If you crop this, it shows she's in the thought.
I think I like that one and that one.
That's nice because it's completely full with people. It's, a lot of people, and we have a strong graphic inside.
Yeah. The other, I was thinking of that one.
It's a good one. I like this because it's abstract. I like it, but for the team, rush hour.
Yeah. I got a bit carried away with
Yes, but it's so nice. It's a nice picture.
I remember Toscani saying that it had to be our own kind of personal response and feeling. So I chose the person on the bicycle because it's more of a personal expression of how I feel about the rush hour.
This is the only person inside.
Yeah, there's a person moving.
No,
you don't know.
And the rush hour. Thanks.
Can I risk?
You have to make it maybe a little bit
more the composition.
Yes, it's a little bit stronger.
This one I like conceptually more, but this one visually, so I don't know which one.
I prefer the first one.
The first one, yes.
I think if you tell the story, you have...
More interesting.
Yes, because the other one's the portrait. And if you see a rush hour...
It's an idea.
Yes, and this one has a story.
Regardless of the fact that he suggested me to go with another picture, I decided still to go with my own idea.
So we see you in a short while when you show your pictures to the jury.
Before they present their work to the judges, the contestants are allowed to process the picture they've selected.
I increased the contrast and the clarity of the blacks. I've adjusted the colors to a slight greenish tint. I highlighted some of the darker areas because I really wanted to have a very mysterious mood.
In the post-production, I wanted to achieve the colors. I wanted to be them more bright. So I put a little bit more of highlights and contrast to bring them up.
To stay in this competition, the contestants will need to prove to the judges that they can thrive even in the most challenging situations.
Don't even start to complain, because it is in the difficulty where you see if somebody is an artist or not. So, now we are here to see what is rush hour in Germany today. Suvit, please.
Hi. You asked us to photograph what rush hour is, and for me, it means isolation within crowds.
I like the fact that you've thought about the brief as well as your own interpretation. I wish that we could see more of the girl's face.
Yeah, and I think would have helped out your composition if it was possible to move forward and frame this a little bit closer to the window.
Today, to be a photographer, it is to have a point of view, it is to be an author. So, of course, I find it very interesting. You go and photograph rush hour and you think loneliness. I really appreciate that.
I like this photo because I know how hard it is to make good photos in Hamburg. I like this photo. This is a good one.
Come well, please.
This picture represents for me how I personally felt rush hour in the red light district area. I felt like the child in the middle, lost in an isolated environment.
Very interesting way to interpret rush hour. Open 24 hours. Rush hour. Welcome to rush hour. 24 hours. Sex.
The paradise part was intriguing.
Yeah. This image doesn't really engage me, if I'm honest. The colours are very intense, but there's nothing in the foreground that pulls me in.
I think you took some risk, and it's interesting. It's definitely not what I expected from rush hour in Hamburg. It intrigues me.
We discussed this, and you're right. I think he's the right decision from his pictures. It was a good one. So
surprising.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gillian.
I was trying to go with the mood of what rush hour feels like to me as opposed to perhaps what it looks like. So I experimented with shutter speed.
It seems to stay on one level. Perhaps it's because it's a fairly flat image. Was this the image that you both were in agreement with when you were editing?
No.
Because I know that last week you had a difference of opinion with David.
This was the decision between this one and this one. In the end, it's her decision to say, I'm standing for this.
Of course.
And that's it.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's messy, and it's not working on a design level. It suffers from maybe not a hint of a face. The motion just is a little heavy to translate the emotion that you were trying to give us.
I find this somehow aesthetically pretty. But, you know, I've seen too many of this kind of photographic masturbation.
I should have gone with the other picture. It was a really stupid risk to take.
Molly. Really lovely. And there's some movement of your eye when you're looking at this.
I like that you've included the clock as well. It's obvious, but it feels quite solid.
Thank you.
Sonia. I like the blue of the colour. I think it's very strong. I just wonder whether having something in the foreground may have given it a stronger feel.
The composition is perfect.
It's very boring, the whole thing. I'm looking for something interesting.
Okay.
Very boring.
Wojciech? It feels quite obvious, if I'm going to be honest.
You know, that one light coming out of the lady with the cup in her hand is just so distracting. I think you should have waited for the right situation.
Black and white is an easy way out of this chromatic scale. Okay? Chromatic scale is very difficult to handle. So black and white, it makes it easier.
There were no color in this particular picture, and also in this mood I was in, I don't need a color to express it.
A lamp, please.
If I'm really rushing, I look very weird. So I searched for individuals in Hamburg that could represent this.
I really like this image, and I like the fact that it's so in the moment. And it's intriguing. You know, I want to know who he is, where he's going, what's happening here.
There's a simplistic scene here, but it's a very complex story.
It's perfect with the colors and the motion and the graphics inside. I adore it. It's very good.
Everything is wrong. The movement, the thing. To me, it's got nonsense. I love nonsense. Sohail, please.
My vision of rush hour is the gloominess. And I borrow this metaphor from Siegfried, where you've got these railings that sort of emphasize this cage-like presence that people are going into.
I like the fact that you put that everything in a cage. Somehow, yeah, you know, this line going on, death row, there where we go, somehow, every morning.
Beautiful use of the ambient light. It's a very bleak feel to it. The thing that I find distracting is the way that one big bar cuts through the guy with the hat on. I just wish you literally dropped your knees a couple inches so that that wasn't happening.
Thank you. Can I take this? I have to thank Siegfried for giving me the idea of the cage metaphor. It's very helpful in terms of explaining the photo and also in enhancing it in terms of a photo about rush hour.
Max, come on up.
My picture represents the mood of the time of the day very well. It's winter, it's dark, it's cold. And at the same time, I think it's very mysterious. My two main subjects, you don't really know what they're doing.
Somehow, this picture is talking to me. And I think this is a quality in photography. We look at it silently. And the picture talks. This picture talks. It's a pity that the guy is sharp.
Yeah, I would agree with Toscani that it's a shame about that guy to the right, because you almost want everything to be blurred in a way.
It takes you to the real life, you see?
Yeah.
He's too real, basically. He's too present.
Yeah.
Because the focal point being there.
Thank you very much.
Well done. Victoria?
I had a few different ideas about what rush hour means, and one of them was about really moving forward to your goal in a way. And I thought that this woman kind of represented that focus, stopped her basically.
There isn't any rush hour around here. There isn't one thing in this picture that I liked. One. I'm trying to find something. This woman that is, there is interesting about her face?
This image is very flat. Emotionally and compositionally.
It's very, very still. It takes us away from that whole feeling of determination and wanting to get there and all the things that you've said to me.
I was for the other one.
Thanks very much.
The judges will be looking for the photographers who have successfully overcome the challenges posed by a tricky location and delivered a personal interpretation of rush hour. Following their decision, one of the contestants will leave the competition.
This wasn't an easy task. They didn't really find what they expected.
Photography can have extreme interpretation.
Yeah.
You know? We go from a sex place. That's fantastic, no?
Yeah, to the early morning hours. And Suvid's piece here, which is, a lot of people in the frame and has this emotion.
Well, I think my favorite picture is this one of Max.
I like how he's used the office blocks in the background. I think the light, there's something quite appealing about that. Sohail seems to really tell quite a strong story. We come to Gillian. I didn't understand what she was trying to say.
She thinks, I think, that process equivocates emotion.
Victoria's. Well, I think that she tried something that she thought was different.
Of course she tried, but everything is wrong. Perspective is wrong, location is wrong, the composition is wrong, the props is wrong. I mean, everything is wrong.
OK, I think we've reached an agreement now.
Yeah.
Let's go and tell the contestants. Photographers, it's now time to face our verdict. Of all the photos that you presented, 3 have really caught our eye. The first one is Savid's. What we liked about this image is the fact that you tried to combine your own personal interpretation of rush hour with the more literal interpretation of the brief. We could see very well the feelings of isolation and loneliness, so well done.
I know I can do a better job, so I feel a little bit like I don't deserve to be in the top 3, but it's encouraging and it makes me want to do better next time.
Another picture really impressed us. Max, please. There are few pictures that use the past and they take into kind of a future. And this picture has got that sense of what's happening, what will happen more than what's happening. We really appreciate this vision.
I didn't think it was a great picture, but I'm very happy that the judges obviously thought that it's a good picture.
The third photo that we chose was Sohail's. I want you to make better photos, and so the problems I mentioned in the critique, I want you to pay attention to things like that. We really appreciated the fact that you used the railing in the foreground to create confinement. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Today I realised the value of commentary and explanation that can really enhance a photo.
Unfortunately, there are two works that didn't hit the mark. And the first one is yours, Victoria.
Possibly you did too much concept around this, and it took you too far away from an idea of Rush Hour. And then away from that, the composition falls apart. A lot of things coming out of the woman's head on a design level did not help out your image at all. You want to say something?
I did have a different picture, which was much stronger in terms of concept. I was hesitating between the two. I made a wrong choice, what can I say?
There is another picture that didn't convince us. Gideon, please. This belonged to an old photography for self-satisfaction. But all this we have seen for decades. The best picture that we decide is really looking into the human condition. And photography today has to be concerned on what is today humanity. So I think you should add to that something deeper. And that's what is missing. It doesn't go deep. It's just an aesthetics. And today is not anymore sufficient.
Julian, would you like to respond?
No, I completely accept your criticism, and, you know, in future I will take that on board in my photography.
OK. So the photographer who will have to leave us is... Victoria. With your portrait, what you tried to portray and what you actually portrayed were very far apart. We felt that it was such a still image that it was very difficult to see where the task was. We felt that with Gillian's image, there was a real attempt to try and do something different and also to convey the sense of Rush Hour. But we felt that there was a real absence in this with yours, Victoria. For all of you who are still in the competition, congratulations. You're all one step closer to becoming Sky Arts Master of Photography. But there's still a long way to go. See you on the next assignment.
I'm gonna give you anyways a hug.
I wish I have selected my other image. Well, what is done is done. Tomorrow I'll be back to my personal work.
In the next episode of Master of Photography.
You'll be commissioned to take a photograph of a well-known actor.
I wasn't nervous, but I am now.
Is that Clive? Hey, this is Malameo.
Good.
Wise words from Oliviero.
You are the celebrity when you take a picture, in a way.
And another photographer will leave the contest.
The photographer who will have to leave us is...